What would have happened if the European Super League had become a reality? In April 2021, news shook the football world. The creation of the European Super League, or for short ESL. This project was supposed to be carried out by the biggest European clubs, and should fundamentally change the world of football. Because of different agendas and forces behind this project, it was eventually stopped. But as a football fan, I personally would love to see what kind of a tournament with all these big clubs would be like. And this is where our channel comes in. So, we have randomly selected clubs that we think would play in this league, and are trying to make these ESL games happen with a certain game. A total of 20 teams will participate in the ESL. The 20 teams will be divided into 2 groups and play home and away matches respectively. The format is that the top 3 teams, and either the 4th or 5th place team, depending on which team wins the playoff, will each enter the final tournament, which then begins with the quarter-finals. To analyze all of the games would go beyond the time frame here, so let's look at just the opening games of both groups first. The first match in Group A is between Manchester City and Real Madrid. Both of these teams are well-known powerhouses. In the 53rd minute, Hazard receives the ball free in the center, turns forward, dribbles past the defense and shoots. Real Madrid takes the lead, breaking up a close match. The visitors let themselves be outplayed too much and coach Guardiola did not look good. In the 82nd minute, Hazard picks up Manchester City's halfway clear ball, exchanged a pass with Asensio and fired into the goal. He scores a second goal, the winning goal, and the game is over. Coach Ancelotti, who seems to be the most authentic in the game, is also gutted. Real Madrid wins the opening match 2-0. The second match is between Inter, the former SerieA runners-up, and Liverpool, the former Premier League runners-up. The game is already in the closing stages with both teams' defenses working very well and standing tight. Towards the end of the game, however, there is a drama. After the opponent's pass was intercepted, Inter took their chance of a counter-attack. On the left, Mkhitaryan gets the ball free and heads it to Lautaro, who fired with a strong right-footed shot. The ball goes into the goal and Inter are in the lead. His teammates come running to celebrate with him. The duel between last season's runners-up is 1-0 by Inter. The third match of the day was between the Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich and Marseille, which is in France. The Bundesliga champions naturally go into this game as favourites, but we saw something extraordinary. In the 4th minute after kickoff, Marseille started a nice build-up play and undergot the ball on the right and shot. Marseille, the underdog, takes the lead. Then after 30 minutes, a Marseille shot that was blocked is picked up by Veritout and passed to Alexis, who scores. This even allows Marseille to extend their lead to 2-0. Marseille are unstoppable and launch a counter-attack. Alexis breaks through in the midfield and plays the ball to Guendouzi on the left. With a quick dribbling he gets past the defense and Alexis gets the ball again, which he shoots into the goal. The lead over the German Bundesliga champions is now already 3 goals. And then, maybe because of the pressure of the attackers, Bayern Munich's defense also scores an own goal. The first half ends with a score of 4-0. In the second half Bayern Munich tries to fight back, and they defend very concentrated around the goalkeeper Lopez. In the 78th minute it finally looked good for a goal by Bayern Munich, but it was ruled offside and the goal was declared invalid. Bayern Munich, the German champions, suffered an unexpected defeat at home. Let's move on to the 4th match between AC Milan, last season's SerieA winners, and Leverkusen, 3rd in the Bundesliga. AC Milan dominated the game as they play at home. In the 11th minute, the pass is sent to Junior Meshers, who slips behind the defender and with a goal worth seeing. He puts AC Milan in the lead. In the 32nd minute, AC Milan got into the penalty area via the right side and there it is Junior Meshers again. With a wonderful left-footed shot he extended to a 2-goal difference. But the Germans struck back. In the 67th minute, a corner kick was met by Schick with a high header. Then in the 74th minute a great interplay in the penalty area and in the end Schick scored again. That's the equalizer for Leverkusen. And then, after the cleared ball was picked up, Leverkusen made another great move in the penalty area, and again it's Schick. What a hat-trick to turn this game around. The away team from Leverkusen secures a 2-3 victory. The 5th game is between Spurs and Villarreal. In the 8th minute it is Villarreal who seem to take the lead, but the goal was ruled offside and is therefore invalid. Spurs also got a good free kick, but they couldn't score. Then in the 37th minute Villarreal stole the ball and tried a strong, long-range shot on the goal. That gave them the lead. But the Spurs hit back. With a fluid passing game, they broke down the right side of the field and hit the equalizer. In the second half then, in the 80th minute, Villarreal's Morales hits a powerful volley shot and it's a winner. Villarreal can celebrate a 1-2 away victory. Then, it's on to the opening games of Group B. The first match was between Atletico Madrid, who finished third in LaLiga, and RB Leipzig, who finished fourth in the Bundesliga. In the 40th minute there was a typical Spanish attack. In midfield, Morata got the ball, exchanged passes with his colleagues and also left the defense behind with his high speed. He won the one-on-one with the goalkeeper and Atletico Madrid took the lead. Further then in the 56th minute Correa, who was just not offside, was able to break away from the defense and make it 2-0. In the 64th minute, Leipzig was also able to score a goal, but that was the end of the chase. The Spaniards won their opening match at home. In the second match of Group B, Arsenal, who are playing for the championship this year, and Juventus, who have been involved in irregularities in the past, met. In the 42nd minute, Di Maria, a transfer from PSG, was able to shoot with his right foot, his non-dominant foot, into the left corner of the goal. That gave Juventus the lead. And then in the 66th minute, after some nice passing play in the penalty area, Cuadrado comes in from the right side and shoots straight at the goal. The lead was extended to 2 goals and so the game against Arsenal ends. Juventus won their first away game. In the third match, with PSG, a well-known star-studded team, and Dortmund, always one of the top teams in the Bundesliga, was an epic battle of battles. After 14 minutes, Dortmund managed to counter-attack. The ball is connected in the midfield and played to Adeyemi on the right. The youngster, born in 2002, leaves the defense behind with his outstanding speed before passing to Bellingham, who runs into the middle and shoots. Dortmund take the lead away from home. But the Paris star ensemble doesn't let it get them down. 18 minutes later Mbappé, the top scorer of the World Cup, plays the ball to Messi, the best player of the World Cup. Messi scored a superb goal to immediately equalize for PSG. But towards the end of the first half, Adeyemi again receives the ball on the right and is able to shoot past the goalkeeper into the goal. A great goal, just like the one scored in the last Champions League game against Chelsea. The tide turned in the 50th minute. This time PSG broke through the Dortmund defense on the right side and Vitinha shot the ball into the goal. PSG equalized again, showing the determination of the team that gets a big salary. Then again in the 56th minute, Messi received the ball, moved inside in the midfield and shot straight at the goal. However, Neymar, who was clearly offside, touched the ball. Although the ball goes into the goal is of course disallowed. Messi also looks up at the sky, as if he sensed everything the moment Neymar touched. In the 72nd minute, Bellingham breaks through the defense with an attack. Sergio Ramos still tries to deflect the ball with his foot, but doesn't manage to touch it and so Bellingham is able to shoot into the goal. With the lead changing 3 times, the game comes to an end. Dortmund can win this hard game. The fourth game of Group B is an interesting match between Barcelona and Manchester United. In the 8th minute, Barcelona can break away on the right side and Ferran Torres shoots. This wonderful volley puts the visitors in the lead. But the Giants from the Premier League are unstoppable. 29th minute. Martial slips out of Rashford's exquisite looping pass. He scored from an awkward angle into the right corner of the goal to equalize. Then in the 58th minute in the second half, Bruno Fernandes was given space in the penalty area and he scored the winning goal with a strong shot. After that Manchester United were able to fend off Barcelona's further attacks. Manchester United won the game with a very good result away from home. The last opening match in Group B will be between Napoli, who are currently on the rise in SerieA, and Chelsea, who would be even stronger without injuries. Just 24 minutes had been played when Zakaria was tackled from behind as he was about to shoot. Don't add any more injuries to Chelsea. Lobotka receives the red card for this action. This means that Napoli will continue to play in a difficult situation from now on. The free kick was taken by Mount. A great FK puts Chelsea ahead. Chelsea managed to keep this one goal until the end of the match and the match ends with 1-0. The opening matches of the ESL went like this, but as the matches of the clubs were very interesting, we decided to skip to the end of the group stage. What do you think the results will be? Interesting results. First Group A, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid and Inter are at the top of the table. These teams also always do well in their respective leagues. Marseille surprised in their opening match, but then failed in the group stage. Now for Group B. The French stars of PSG and also last year's Champions League winners Barcelona are right up there, as are RB Leipzig in third place and Manchester United. So, let's move on to the last games of this knockout stage. Under the original rules, the 4th and 5th place in each group would play for a tournament berth, but this time they were omitted and the 4th place in each group advanced to the tournament. The first quarter-final match is between Manchester City and RB Leipzig. In the 37th minute, Manchester City are able to connect some passes in the penalty area and it ends up with Holland scoring. They show testament to the strength of the Group A winners. But in the 58th minute, RB Leipzig managed to equalize when Kunku shot the ball into the goal after a teammate's shot, making the game exciting again. But then in the 84th minute, a floating ball from Bernardo is brilliantly met by Alvarez. With a strong volley he scores the 2-1. In the final phase of the game, Manchester City got into the opponent's penalty area via the left side, and after good preparation Grealish should score. They decide the game with the third goal scored. The fans were convinced of victory, and this excitement. Manchester City, the winners of Group A, went through to the semi-finals. The second quarter-final match starts very quickly right after the kickoff. Antony steals the ball from opponents and exchanges passes with Martial to get behind the defense. On the run to Antony's cross ball, Rashford. This gave Manchester United the lead very early in the game. In the 78th minute, the game seemed to be over, when a shot from inside the penalty area was deflected in by Mané. The Bundesliga champion finally shows his class. As a result, the game went on to extra time and the penalty shootout. Bayern Munich's first shooter was Mané, but his shot was blocked by De Gea with a brilliant save. Bayern Munich's fourth shooter also missed, and now it's the turn for Manchester United's fourth shooter, Weghorst. The ball is shot softly into the goal with the right foot. Manchester United win the penalty shootout and also advance to the semi-finals. The third quarter-final is a LaLiga El Clasico. Ancelotti is very similar to Real. This game also ends goalless in the penalty shootout thanks to the goalkeepers. Both goalkeepers really showed their skills by deflecting the balls, but in the end, Barcelona won. This really difficult game was won by Barcelona, and so they move on into the semi-finals. The last quarter-final match is between PSG and Inter. In the 8th minute the game picks up pace. Darmian, who receives the ball, turns forward and plays an excellent pass to Dzeko. Dzeko scored with a shot into the left corner to give Inter the lead. After that, PSG struggled as Inter entrenched themselves at the back with a Catenaccio. But in the 80th minute, the reliable man can get the job done. Mbappé received the ball in a good position, dribbled all the way into the penalty area and then passed to Messi, who kicked the ball in with his left foot. With this long-awaited goal, the equalizer came just before the end of the second half. In the last minute of extra time, everyone thought the game was going to a penalty shootout again. But in the 120th minute, PSG gets the free kick in a good position. And the kicker is Neymar, who was super offside in the opening round. Neymar. As you would expect from the Canary ace. He scores a wonderful goal to win this game. Neymar scored the winning goal, also making up for the offside goal in the opening match. PSG could also advance to the semi-final. After in the first semi-final match, Barcelona and Manchester City meet, a match that is expected to bring in great box office receipts. Only 5 minutes after kickoff, Lewandowski sets off down the right and shoots the ball into the middle to Ansu Fati, who slams the ball into the net. With that, Barcelona's lead is decided. Guardiola is already looking very desperate. But the Premier League champions don't let that get them down. The game turned around when Holland equalized in the 70th minute after a good move outside the offside zone. The game was open again and it went into extra time. In the injury time of the first extra time, Ferran Torres receives a pass from Lewandowski and is able to get into the penalty area. Finally, Dembélé then runs into the middle. The French dribbler can score the winning goal. With this result, the match ends. In extra time, it is decided that Barcelona will advance. The second semi-final will also be a hit. PSG take on Manchester United. This one is expected to be a terrific box office success as well. In the 13th minute, Mbappe's ball is kicked away from the defense and lands right at Messi's feet. This allows the best player in the World Cup to put PSG ahead with a fantastic shot. Then in the 83rd minute, a beautifully combined pass lands near Mbappe, the World Cup's top scorer. PSG can extend its lead through these two best World Cup players. Shortly before the final whistle, it is Bruno Fernandes who narrows down the gap to PSG with a beautiful goal, but the game is over. The highly paid team PSG has made it to the final. So, who do you think will be the ESL first champion? Will it be PSG or will it be Barcelona? Now let's take a look at the game. For the final, the ball has been changed to create a different atmosphere. If you can recognize this ball, then you are around our age. The final was an epic goal scramble. Just 5 minutes into the game, connecting passes crossways near the penalty area, and finally, Messi. With a strong shot he immediately puts PSG in the lead. Would this man finally even win the ESL title? In the 14th minute, Messi makes a wonderful pass to Mbappe, who is able to break through the defense very well. Mbappe shoots into the goal to increase the goal difference. It's really a wonderful interplay between the two best World Cup players. But Barcelona does not let itself be put out of the game so quickly. In the 60th minute Barcelona can overcome the PSG defense and then it is Pedri who can score. The gap was reduced by 1 goal. But already in the 64th minute, high-speed passing plays on the opponents and creates goals for Neymar. The 3 strongest players of PSG M&M could already score a goal each in the final and the game seemed to be decided already. But in the 69th minute Rafinha is able to break through the defense and shoot the ball into the right corner of the goal. This makes it only 1 goal difference again. Then in the 83rd minute, Rafinha runs down the right, which allows him to play the ball to Dembélé, who then scores the saving goal. This goal means that the game goes into extra time. In the 97th minute of extra time, it is then a typical Barcelona action that brought the ball to De Jong and he also shot it into the goal. Finally, Barcelona leads in this game. In the 113th minute, it looked as if Barcelona would be the first ESL champion, but Mbappe makes a team-saving dribble breakthrough at this juncture and sends the ball into the middle. Fabian ran in and made it. Last-minute tie. What a final. The ESL looks really interesting. The winner will be decided in a penalty shootout. The first shot from Barcelona can be held by Donnarumma. After that all the other players scored and Messi was the last shooter for PSG. Messi, who has already won so many titles, also converts this shot to decide the first champion of the ESL. So, the verified result this time. Wanna see the matches in person and live? Please subscribe to the channel and leave a good review. If you are interested in a special validation please let us know in the comments below. So, let's meet again in the next video.